Hi, welcome. This is Dr. John DeMartini. This is one of the most amazing and inspiring shows that you can listen into. If you want to be on the edge of your seats, if you want to open up your heart, if you want to expand your mind, and you want to meet incredible people, stay tuned because you're just about to experience a transformative radio show that will change your life. And you're listening to the Dr. Pat Show that's coming up right next.
The following audio is via a Skype call.
Welcome to the Dr. Pat Show. Talk radio to thrive by. Powerful, inspiring, and coming to you live, bringing you stories of people like you and me busting through and living life full out. Get ready to dare to wonder what your life would be like if you knew you could not fail.
Hey, everybody. Welcome. It's great to have you join us. Tune us in and turn us on right here at the Dr. Pat Show and Transformation Talk Radio. What an amazing day today. Benny, do you know why?
Why?
The sun.
Yes.
The sun
peeking through.
Almost came out.
Almost? Well, it's out down here.
Yeah, it is out down there.
Right,
but
well, give it some time.
Well, it hasn't gotten a Bothell yet, I don't think.
It's the center of the universe. Quite. It'll eventually get there. Don't worry.
Yeah, Bothell is the center of the universe. And, given all the construction that's been going on here.
Oh, that's
yeah. The average price of your home, if you live in Bothell, has increased by at least 33 to 40%. The value of your home in Bothell.
Sounds about right.
Yes. That's why, because we put in a new Main Street. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the show.
Just because of that Main Street, or just this entire state of Washington's doing very well right now, actually?
I think it's the entire state of Washington.
I think so, too. I
think it's the Main Street thing, too.
It could be, absolutely. I mean, you got to
I'm going to have to take a picture. I'll take a picture and I'll post it on there. It could be McMinimum's taking over the town. Mm-hmm. That could be it, too. Yeah. Love Bothell. Love it. Love it, love it. Never thought I'd say that coming from the Bronx, New York, but I do love it. Benny, we're going to have a great show today. Do you know why?
Because it's Wednesday.
And Tara Thompson Lewis is joining us here today because we're looking at the Thompson Method of bodywork, structural alignment, core strength, and emotional release. Now, for those of you listening to the show right now, I just want to say, if you have any question at all in your mind that we don't hold emotions in the cells of our body, you will have a whole different perspective after the show today. And, Benny, you and I know this, that we have had bones cracked, muscles. You and I are pretty active. I don't think you play softball anymore, right?
No, but I coach my kids' baseball team, so I still have to stay fairly active for those little hitters.
That's right. And not bring your emotional trauma from when you played to your children.
No.
Right.
No.
And I play table tennis and I coach table tennis. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. But what is it about body work that we are now all so interested in and want to know how understanding body work, and especially the Thompson Method of bodywork, can literally change our lives and renew our bodies. So joining me here today is Tara, who bodywork has been a way of life since baby, teeny. Mother, Cathy Thompson, and you're going to hear about that, was someone that was so forward-looking in this field that how could Tara not be who she is today? How could she not? But what is it about life that has us have teachers as well as students show up in the same way? Today, we're going to be talking with her about this fabulous book. And, anytime I get a book where somebody has taken the time to actually use illustration to show us what it is that might be going on and what we can do about it, it is a labor of love, I will tell you that. Tara, thank you for joining me here today. Great to have you.
Hi, Dr. Pat. Thank you for having me.
I just want to ask you, what was it like being you growing up? What was it like being you, being surrounded by all of this amazing integrative work?
Well, I have to say that growing up, I really took it for granted. My mother was practicing when I was in her womb, so I really don't know anything else other than those movements. And my father also taught shiatsu, and I traveled with him to Eastern Europe after the fall of the Berlin Wall, and I was like his little assistant, and he was teaching. At that time, there was nothing like that there. So I just kind of grew up steeped in it, and I thought that everybody experienced their body in that way. I thought that, if you had some issue, you went and you lay down, and your mom would come and like put her elbows in your back, and that was just normal. So, yeah.
But now fast forward to where we are today. And, one of the things that I said at the opening of the show, and I would love for you to comment about it, is that here we are, and we have now starting to realize how every cell in our body, every tissue has the potential to carry forth generationally trauma that may need to be healed. I think we're now starting to realize that might be the cause of why so many people are really affected by chronic illness today.
Absolutely, yeah. And we have lots of research on this. There's lots of really interesting new understandings. But I think that bodywork is one concrete and reliable, really grounded way to work with that. It's been around forever. People have been working through this forever. Even as the science changes, it can get integrated in. There's flexibility to that. And I see it with clients all the time, that they come in and are working, one person in a family can be working out traumas that are really to do with the whole family. And one person can, through working with themselves, heal perhaps generations of trauma. It's very interesting.
This is a legacy, and you're carrying forth the legacy. One of the things I love is to know how we take a moment and honor our history, honor our family, honor the work that they've done, stand on the shoulders. I want to ask you this question. What would you say has been the most significant discovery along the way as this body work has evolved? What would you say was your greatest discovery along the way?
That's a really great question. No one's ever asked me that question before.
I know. They should have warned you. They should have warned you about me, right?
No, I like the question. Great. It's great. What comes to me first is that I know that it's possible to feel really, really good. I know that it's possible to feel much better than one normally does. And what's fascinating to me is kind of going around in a circle. It's like a spiral circle where there's all these different things I've learned, different bits of information, and they keep coming back around in different forms. You study with different teachers. You gain more and more understanding as you go around. You also get more confused, but, go around. But at the core of it, I know that people can feel much better than they do. We all have that potential to feel really much better in our own bodies, in our own selves, than most of us do most of the time. And that's something that I don't think I understood growing up, and it's something that came to me after my mother died, after going through a very intense grieving process. So, it's through going into our own pain, going into our grief, that on the other side of it, there is this potential to actually feel amazing. And I think sometimes we're not willing to go into our pain in order to come to the other side of it, because we're scared, understandably. We are a part of our own dysfunction. We're a part of our own inability to heal sometimes. And so that's where someone coming in from outside, or something coming in from outside, or whatever, can facilitate that.
Yeah. One of the things I love is, when we think about ourselves and our lives, and we think about what we're learning now, we're using the word miraculously, we're using the words miraculously healed less and less and less now, because, we are now looking at methods, approaches to healing are not alternatives anymore. You see what I mean? It's like, wait a minute, we can do something about that. This is what we can do. And the body does talk. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to talk about the Thompson Method of bodywork, but most importantly, we're going to talk about what is all involved in this. How do you take the top approaches and modalities? How do you put them all together to create one? That's what we're going to talk today about with Tara. Stay tuned, everyone. We're going to take a shorty. We'll be right back.
Tune in to Lucid Planet Radio with Dr. Kelly Neff. This hit show will illuminate your senses and empower you beyond your daily stressors and hardships. Renowned psychologist and author Dr. Kelly will captivate you with far-reaching topics and amazing guests as you wake to the greatest version of yourself. Learn to tap into your intuitions, think critically about our world, heal emotional and psychological wounds, and follow your passions to live your dreams. The Lucid Planet. Welcome home. Visit lucidplanetradio.com for more information.
Tune in to E3 Influence Radio. Own your impact. Master your world. In this new hit show, Sarah Luce, empowerment coach and spiritual mentor, teaches us how to achieve our greatest potential to positively affect everything and everyone. The time is now to enlighten our minds, empower our hearts, and take energized action to raise the consciousness of our planet. Sarah shows us how with simple, easy-to-implement steps. To find out more about Sarah Luce and her E3 Influence program, visit sarahluce.com.
Interested in deepening your spiritual practice? The School for Esoteric Studies offers online training to spiritual seekers from all paths of life and individual coaching. Our courses synthesize Eastern and Western spiritual traditions based on meditation, study, and service applied to everyday life. To learn more about our courses and services, please visit www.esotericstudies.net.
Integrate spirituality into your everyday lives on Universe Soul Heart Radio. Tune in each month on Transformation Talk Radio as Kathleen Johnson explores the concept of sensible spirituality, keeping you grounded, connected, and centered on the path to wholeness. Kathleen has dedicated her life to facilitating holistic healing and wholeness in others. Listen to Universe Soul Heart Radio and learn how to flourish, grow, and impact all we do on planet Earth. For more information, go to universesoulheart.net.
To see your life from an angel's perspective, book a personal consultation with Claire Candy Huff, angelic walk-in angel Ariel at Angel Healing House. Candy provides intuitive counseling, Reiki, and angel readings in person in Los Angeles or nationally and internationally via phone or Skype. She will channel the practical tools you need to transform your life. Call now 831-277-3716 or visit angelhealinghouse.com.
If you're dealing with fear and anxiety, you've probably noticed that the more you fight these emotions, the stronger they seem to get. Dr. Friedemann Schaub, the author of The Fear and Anxiety Solution, explains that instead of suppressing, we need to identify and resolve the deeper subconscious root causes of fear and anxiety. His personal breakthrough program has helped thousands worldwide to overcome their emotional challenges. To learn more, visit thefearandanxietysolution.com and schedule your free consultation with Dr. Schaub now.
I want to live where soul meets body, and let the sun wrap its arms around me and bathe my skin in water cool and cleansing.
Wow. Hey, everybody. Listen, I'm so great. We're here with Tara Thompson Lewis. And guess what? We're talking about the Thompson Method of bodywork, structural alignment, core strength, and emotional release. And my discovery along the way in my own healing journey is, you might step out there and get that structural alignment going. Then you might go out there and get your core strength. But in the process, most of us are not even aware that there's an emotional release factor involved. But when you put the three of these together, what I've learned in my own journey and what Tara has put together so wonderfully in the book is that you got to have all three. All three open up the portal for absolutely permanent healing. Tara, thank you so much. I'm saying Tara because I'm from New York. I think Benny's calling you Tara. So I apologize for any and all of the above. First off, how can we get a copy of the book? And then how can we find out more about you?
So let me just say, you can call me either, because my friends call me Tara. My family calls me Tara. My family is English. My friends are American. I don't care either way. So
awesome.
You can get the book through the publisher, which is Healing Arts Press, and they have their website, healingartspress.com. They're a wonderful Vermont-based publisher.
Yeah.
And you can also get it through my website, which is the Thompson Method of bodywork.com. And that's THOMPSON, method of bodywork.com. So those are the two. I mean, there's also Amazon and, places like that. But those are the two main places.
Awesome. Okay. Before the break, I talked a little bit about how is it that we have this method now that includes, structural alignment, core strength, and emotional release. So my question before the break was, let's talk about all of the different elements / modality that goes into the Thompson Method of bodywork. And I think, take us on a journey in terms of what specific types of things, that you and Cathy have included in this fabulous healing modality.
So there's a number of different things. My mother had an amazing ability to study things and then integrate them. She really did that, and it was seamless. And when she was working, it was never like, oh, I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do this. It all just sort of became one thing, and then it would vary depending on the client. So there's a lot of influence from Gestalt psychotherapy, which we studied, so that's a lot of the emotional component comes from that. There's also a lot of influence from Pilates, like really traditional kind of Pilates, to work deep inner core muscles. And there's also influence from yoga. There's also influence from neuromuscular repatterning systems like muscle activation technique. There's some newer ones as well that I've integrated more recently. So working neuromuscular pathways that are not firing to get them firing and create balance within the system. So there's that. That's and alignment work as well. So, influence from Alexander, from Rolfing. Which we studied all of them. Many years, 30 years of study. And, of course, shiatsu, which is kind of the foundation. So that's the theoretical foundation comes from shiatsu.
Well, the reason that I'm asking you this question, and there are several reasons. One is that, we have some ideas about what bodywork is and what it isn't. We also have some misconceptions that you address in the book. And I want to just start out by talking about the misconceptions, because we all have them. We go along our merry way, and we have what we call assumptions/misconceptions. But once they become a way of thinking, a belief, that we then buy into a mythology about them, hence the word myth. What have you found are some of the misconceptions that come to the forefront that you're addressing in the book?
Well, one of them is this idea that you can randomly work out and correct imbalances that way. It doesn't really work that way. It could happen that way, but it would be a sort of mystical process. There are actually concrete ways to work with balance, but you have to focus, and you have to work on areas that are underactive, which means that you're not going to feel them. They are not the places that are going to kick in when you just go to the gym and go on a treadmill. When you just go to the gym and go on a treadmill for half an hour, you will basically be working the muscles that are already strong. So it's not that that's necessarily harmful. You can still get some benefit from that, but it's not really treating yourself therapeutically. And it can be damaging if your alignment is very off, and then you are adding a lot of extra strain and weight to it. That could be really counterproductive for your structure. Whereas doing something that's balancing for you, which is harder to figure out on our own, it's hard to see our own imbalances. Yeah, they're sleepy. They don't want to come to the forefront. Right. They're hiding. Yeah. Right. Yeah. By definition. So I'm not saying that it's an easy process, but it's definitely important, and to step back from whatever exercise routine and really see, is this actually balancing me, or is this just reinforcing my habits, my patterns, my tendencies? And sometimes that's okay. I mean, if you enjoy salsa dancing or whatever, and you do that for pleasure, great. And that could be tremendously therapeutic for someone. But it's not actually addressing their muscular imbalance. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, I do see what you mean. And I want to ask you this question because, this is something that I discovered along the way to be me. Continuing patterns of body work, or what you think is body work that's actually doing some good, may in fact not be doing some good, and may in fact be doing some harm. What do you think about that?
It's always possible. I mean, something that anything that is causing more imbalance for a person could be harmful for that person, and it's very individual. So something might be great for one person and really not work for another person. And it doesn't mean that the system is bad. It's just different bodies, different people, different times in life. Yeah.
Okay. So newsflash, this one got me. So all y'all listening out there, that if you're like me, you have done thousands of these and have not gotten any result. Now, Benny, I don't know if this is you. Maybe it's you. Could be Nathan too, listening. Here, right from the book. So this is under myth number 3. It relates to this idea of doing exercises correctly. So here's what I read. For example, abdominal crunches, raise your hand if you actually love doing those. Yeah, no hands up. For example, abdominal crunches don't necessarily strengthen the abdominal muscles, even though they are considered an isolation exercise. You could do them in a convincing way, and then she goes on to say, by that I mean they'll look right to the untrained eye using your back, hip flexors, even legs. The only way you know that this is happening is if you try another movement that requires abdominal strength, you won't be able to do it. OMG to this one, boy. I read that and I'm like, okay, all right. And then I'm flipping through the book and I'm like, oh my God, I got to figure out how to do these right. Because if I'm going to spend that much time in that much pain doing an exercise like that, I'm telling you, Tara, I better get some results. Do you feel me on that?
Which brings up another important point. If you're actually working a muscle pathway that is weak, you shouldn't be able to do 20 or 30 of them. So,
good point.
Well, people do these exercises and they do lots and lots of repetitions of things, and they think that they're strengthening, but they're not really strengthening anything. They're using what's already strong, because if you can do that much of something, it's already strong. So if you want to really target your abdominals, you have to find the things that are challenging and you can't just kind of pound through them. And that's the tricky bit. And that might be some subtle adjustment, like firing up your hamstrings while you're doing something that's abdominal so that you aren't using your hip flexors, for example. But there's lots of other examples. And there's lots of exercises in the book that put you in a position that can allow you to find those deeper transverse abdominis and pelvic floor muscles that are usually weak.
Wow. Listen, everybody, we're going to take a short break, and we are going to give a copy of this book away. I love this book because you know what? When I read the book the first time and then I went through it again last night, I was like, oh my gosh, I need to find out what muscles I need to start working according to this, what body alignment changes I need to make so that I can improve my table tennis game, right? 1-800-930-2819, 1-800-930-2819. We'd love to give one of 3 copies of this fabulous book away. And I'm telling you, there are diagrams in here. There is step-by-step. This is how you do it. This is why you do it. And this is what you can expect. It's brilliant. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. When we come back, I'm going to talk about the thing that we know we should do before we're active and we don't do enough of: stretching. We'll be right back.
Let It Go Radio. The future awaits you. Tune in each month on Transformation Talk Radio as host Barbara Scheidegger explores the way to clarity, peace, and how to live a successful life on your terms by turning negative experiences into positive ones. Barbara's curiosity about the human experience drives her both personally and professionally. As a life coach, author, and renowned clinical hypnotherapist, Barbara knows how to move forward in a natural, organic way without side effects. If you want to grow, be sure to tune in to Let It Go Radio. To learn more, visit letitgohypnosis.com.
Practice living in wholeness with the body tune-up. 6 classes for $89 designed for radical self-healing and self-regeneration. Heal the deepest root of any challenge. The mental body was programmed in negativity, not good enough, separate from source. You're too much, you'll never make it. The emotional body holds all the pain and trauma of emotional suppression, all the pain from this life and lives past. The spiritual body is the place you connect with your higher power, your higher self, with the image and likeness of the One. The physical body houses and expresses the other 3 bodies every day. Go to CorneliaStephanie.com. Evolve, become a practitioner. We need to heal, integrate, and bring into wholeness and harmony the physical body, addressing all the other bodies in order to live in our true, authentic nature.
Winning at the game of money. Lynn Brown is now offering Full Spectrum Finance, a progressive 12-month program that will help you to navigate through the mechanics of financial expansion. Finally, a financial planner who looks at the full spectrum of money and abundance. Engage you in the mental, physical, and energetic aspects of finance. This is Full Spectrum Finance. You ready to get into it? For more information, go to fullspectrumfinance.com.
Stay juicy. Tune in to Your Juicy Love with me, Una Drake, co-hosting monthly with Dr. Pat, and every second Monday at 12 p.m. on Transformation Talk Radio. My show, Your Juicy Love, helps you find the dynamic, life-affirming love you've always wanted. Transform your relationships and bring peace, joy, and juicy, juicy love to planet Earth. For more information, visit unadrake.com.
Tune in to Mainstream Metaphysics Radio to harness your connection with the universe to effect change for optimal success and happiness. Named one of the country's top psychics, Eve now brings her insights and gifts to this weekly hit call-in show, joined by visionaries, leaders, and gifted others, but mostly you. Jot it down. Thursdays, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern on TransformationTalkRadio.com.
Breaking my back just to know your name. 17 tracks and I've had it with this game. I'm breaking my back just to know your name.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back. For more information about us, go to the Dr. Pat Show or go to TransformationTalkRadio.com. Tara, again, how can people get a copy of your book? How can they find out more about you? And then I'm going to go ahead and give another copy of the book away.
So the book is available from the publisher, which is Healing Arts Press, based in Rochester, Vermont. And their website is healingartspress.com. And also through my website, which is Thompson Method of Bodywork.com. That's THOMPSON, methodofbodywork.com, all one word. And also through, your favorite Amazon sources and so on.
That's right. Listen, 1-800-930-2819. And, if you've got a question, just tell Benny what it is. He'll write it down, bring it on air. Or you could come on. But we'd love to give a second copy of the book away. 1-800-930-2819. Tara, listen, there's so much in this book. I mean, I was immediately drawn to it based on what I told you I discovered when I went to the chiropractor.
Yes, that's in the book, too.
I mean, can you imagine living an entire life like I've lived and nobody does an x-ray of your spinal cord, even after like 3 accidents? And then I go to Dr. Kaufman in Bothell. He does an x-ray. And I look at the x-ray and 2 things. One is he's like, oh, you have scoliosis. And I'm like, I said, I've been to a lot of doctors. I don't even know I didn't know what it was. And then the third thing was I've grown a bone in my left knee where the cartilage was gone. And so I wanted to ask you this question. I am one of these people, I really don't know what I don't know, but I'm so eager to learn. That's why I love doing this show. From your perspective, if there are 3 things from the book that you wanted to share with people, that you were able to say, listen, you're getting a copy of the book, but if you're not getting a copy of the book, there are 3 things I want you to take away. What would be your 3 takeaways from the book? I know that's a tough question. There's so much in the book, but what might they be?
So, number 1, there's in here she says something like 99% of your healing is from what you do on your own. So even if you go and have a surgery, the recovery, the healing process, that is really up to you. And different people heal in different ways, and there's lots of things that you can do to help yourself. So that's number 1. And in terms of concrete things, I would say, well, let's say from the scoliosis, for example, there's a whole spiral pathway set of exercises in there that work on that right-left spinal balance and those deep core muscles that support the spine. So those are crucial, and they're weak on almost everyone because of our lifestyle and who knows, many other factors. But they've done some tests, and they've found that almost everyone, those muscles are not engaging the way that they need to be functional. So I would say pretty much everyone should do those exercises. And they certainly won't do any harm. They're very gentle. And the other thing is there's a way of working with your own emotions toward the beginning, and it's more of a visualization. And what I like about that is that you could do it anywhere, and anyone can do it. Doesn't matter what kind of physical shape you're in. It really doesn't matter what your background is. You don't have to believe in anything in particular.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we might have lost you right there for a minute, Benny. Oh, there you are. You're back. Yeah. Would you repeat that again?
The last one?
Yes.
Part. So the last part was there's a way of working with your own emotions. There's a visualization exercise towards the beginning of the book, and I think it's really empowering because it gives you a concrete way that you can self. You can even record yourself and use that. And what I like is that you don't have to believe anything in particular. It's not based on any religion or any specific system, and anyone can do it. It doesn't matter what kind of shape you're in. It doesn't matter what your background is. So I would say that would be something for everybody.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Thank you. Look, people have said to me, and Benny and I, we both played softball. I play table tennis very aggressively. It's just what I've learned. And I find myself even today not really doing the kind of stretching that I need to do before I get out there and play. Why is it so many of us that are so active in pretty much whether you're going to the gym and you're just going to get on the treadmill, we don't really want to stretch? Tell us about the functionality of stretching. What does it do and what doesn't it do? Is it really, really true that all of us really should be stretching? And if so, is there a way to do it?
So I would say that underneath that, there's this kind of misconception about what strong muscle is. So strong, functional muscle needs the ability to expand or release and contract, right? It needs to be able to do both. And so if it's always contracted, then that muscle actually is weak. It's not strong. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's the ability, that elasticity and the ability to respond, and the muscles are all interacting with each other. So when one is contracting, another one is releasing in a whole sequence, which is complex and you don't have complete control over. But you do want to cultivate length in the tissue and the ability to feel what it feels like when it's released or lengthened, and what it feels like when it's contracted. And the more that you can feel those two places and find and center the joints as well, because if one set of muscles is over contracted, it'll pull the bones out of the joint and won't be able to center in the joint anymore. So you need both. You really need both. Release and contraction in all parts of the body as well.
Yeah. Wow. One of the things too is that, part of the process is, looking at what you literally walk us through in the book. And I want to give folks an example of how the book is written. And I think that's important to do because, there's so much when we think about our bodies, there's so much for us to really understand. But what you've done is you've laid this out in a way that's not just understandable, but in a way that people can actually begin to do what you've put in here. Tell us about how you've structured the book so that people can use this, not just for education, but as a guide.
So I'm going to tell you, this is what I tell clients when they ask me how they want to use the book. I recommend to them that they read the introductory stuff, which gives you some fundamental ideas about why you're doing what you're doing, and that you could really apply to anything. So you could apply them to the exercises of the book, but you could also apply them to other exercises that you're doing. It's not meant to be that you only do things from the book. So I recommend understanding some of that fundamental stuff about balance and why you're doing it in the first place. And then you can really just pick and choose what you could think about it like, I have a pain in this area and I want to use this section. Or you could look at it as, I never pay any attention to my knees. Maybe I should do something that works on my knees. So you could use it either way. You know, if you're in acute pain with something, maybe you want to go straight to that section and look at it. But if you're just curious about your body, you could also approach it from that totally other way of what's the least familiar, what's the thing that you never think about, and maybe start there. So you don't have to follow it chapter by chapter. It's designed to be something you can dip in and out of, and you could use a section for a period of time, and then maybe move on to another section when you feel like you've really got it. It's the kind of book that I feel like you could use for years and still get benefit from. It's not the kind of thing you can just read and then put aside and never look at again, hopefully.
Right,
I worked on it for a lot. Like, I worked on it for 8 years after my mother passed away, and I kept looking at the things in it and using the ideas from it and going back and forth, and they really they carried into my everyday life. And so I think that's certainly one way to use it.
Well, you know, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to talk about two things. One, we're going to talk about injuries. I got a question that has come in on injuries. We're going to talk about injuries and pain. For many of you out there, whether it's a car accident, whether you've tripped up a stairs, it doesn't matter, all of the above. What should you know about injuries, and what should you know about the relationship between mind and body? Let's take a short break, everyone. We'll be right back.
The Janice Underwood Show, helping you create the life you want, not the life you tolerate. Tune in each Monday, 9 a.m. Pacific on Transformation Talk Radio as Janice delves into the life creator system and the next step in your spiritual evolution. Janice Underwood is gifted at helping spiritually minded people shift their mindsets to unleash the creator within. Our souls wish to wake us up. Those of us listening hear the call. Do you? For more information, visit JaniceUnderwood.com.
What is a brilliant culture, and how do we create them? Why are they important? Claudette Rowley has created a breakthrough 5-step process to help you align your culture with your business strategy for exceptional results. Looking for a culture that drives organizational excellence? Listen to Cultural Brilliance Radio, the second and fourth Friday of each month at 10 a.m. Pacific and 1 p.m. Eastern on Transformation Talk Radio. To learn more or work with Claudette, visit culturalbrilliance.com.
So when are you most peaceful? When you're connected to your source, when you have a deep connection to your soul, and you're living your spiritual way, your unique way. And when are you most stressed? When you're not. It's really, really simple, friends. When we start to borrow desires, we start to control others and situations and people, things go wrong. Nobody wants to be controlled. So it's really important to get connected to the source if you want to remain stress-free. When you're connected to the source, you will have deep access to your own intuition, your own way of living, absolutely fresh and new every moment.
This is Debbie Pokornik with a break-free parenting tip. Parenting will always be a bit of a mystery. Who knows why some parenting ideas work and others do not? Or why some kids seem to succeed despite family setbacks, while others have so much given to them and yet fail to thrive. The one thing we do know is that once you have a child, you'll never be quite the same again. Awe-inspiring emotions like overwhelming love, extreme guilt, intense frustration, and incredible joy make this job second to none. Breaking free of parenting pressures means recognizing the pieces that make us unique, the pieces that we carry with us from the past, and the pieces that are influenced by the society we live in. When we can pick and choose which pieces we want to keep around and change the others to align with our inner wisdom, we will feel more self-assured in our role as a parent.
For information and to work with Debbie, visit empoweringnrg.com.
Hey, everybody, welcome back. Welcome back. The Thompson Method of Bodywork. Yep, that's the book. 1-800-930-2819. We've got another copy of the book I'd love to give away. 1-800-930-2819. Tara Thompson Lewis joining me here today. Tara, I want to ask you this question. I was reading a little bit from the book, and we were talking during a break about body, mind, but also injury. And, you know, you include injury in the book and you talk about it. And you also talk about the legacy of injuries. Give us, if you could, an overview on the role injuries play and what people should know about injuries that they may not know.
So this gets us to that common misconceptions idea, too. One thing that people often say when they come in is, oh, this happened 20 years ago, it's not important anymore. And that, I find that to be kind of the opposite. I mean, the older an injury is, it actually becomes more a part of us. We develop more compensations around us. And we can even re-injure ourselves in the same way or in other ways because of that pre-existing old injury, maybe even from childhood that you don't even remember. So that's a really key piece, and it's where deeper healing can happen too when we go into those old injuries, rather than just a kind of Band-Aid approach.
Yeah.
So
you know, I mean, it's interesting because I've got, like Benny and I both, because we're active playing softball and other sports. I know I have a list of injuries, everything from a complete rotator cuff tear to my latest bicep little thing to meniscus tears to you name it. I mean, sports pretty much was my life. I had to work to earn money, but other than that, was very active. And I recognized, though, in that activity, how conscious I am of a previous injury, almost to the point where I think I do more harm in second guessing myself. And I want to know, do injuries heal?
Not completely. So there's another component, the difference between a non-traumatic injury and a traumatic injury as well, which is very important. When there's a trauma involved with an injury, whether that's a car accident or, an assault or something like that, abuse, whatever it is, our body seems to store the injury with the trauma, and so they get connected. And sometimes the injury isn't even necessarily related to the trauma, but it happened at the same time in your life. It's a very interesting phenomenon. So those type of injuries, they can really not heal well until the trauma is processed in some way. So there's that, and then there's also the sports injury type of injury, which is not necessarily traumatic, but you still can develop all kinds of compensation patterns around it that you actually will end up re-injuring the same place again and again and again because of that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my mother says it. One of the things she says in there is that an injury can feel like a betrayal. And I think that's an interesting way of looking at it. It's like your body has betrayed you. And people often say things like that after they've had an injury.
Yeah.
So it's almost an antagonistic relationship with it, which, how can you heal when you're in an antagonistic relationship, right?
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's hard, if not close to impossible. And, I was telling you a story about, my friend that was in the car accident. And what I really take away from that is the fact that he did not have an antagonistic relationship with his injuries. And I think it was a result of that, he healed rather quickly. And it was just a miracle to kind of watch, right? There wasn't going to be any story that was associated to that. But a lot of times our injuries do carry a story with them, right?
Oh, yeah. And even relatively small injuries that don't seem like much can remain there and cause all kinds of imbalance through the whole system if they're not, if they haven't processed.
Yeah. Yeah, first of all, thank you for carrying forth this knowledge, this wisdom, and, this healing solution for so many. I want to thank you for that. I want to also make sure that you let folks know again, one more time, how they can find out more about you and how they can get a copy of the book.
So the best way is through the publisher, Healing Arts Press, Rochester, Vermont. Their website is healingartspress.com, or through my website, which is Thompson Method of bodywork.com, THOMPSON Method of bodywork.com. And there's a little bit of information about me up on there as well. So you can find me there. And yeah, those are the best ways.
Okay. And I have. I want to ask you one last question. What do you want folks to know as your final thought for today about not just the book, but about the method? What would you like folks to know today?
I would like for people to know that they can, whatever state they're in, however out of shape or in pain, whatever is going on with them, that they have the ability to feel better than they do, and they have tools that they can use to help them heal that. Really, whatever it is.
Personal message? What do you want to leave everybody with?
What's that?
What's your personal message? What would you like to leave everyone with?
Personal message, I just would like to say that it's hugely thrilling to me that people all over the country, perhaps all over the world, get to read these ideas that I grew up with and share in this with me. And it's just really thrilling when somebody contacts me that I have no relationship with, I've never met, and they tell me that this has been useful to them in some way. That makes it all worthwhile.
I love it. Thank you so much for today. Thank you so much for what you're doing. Benny, thank you for pushing all the right buttons. And, Tara, I think that carrying on this legacy and really standing tall in the world and helping so many people do the same is really an honor and a blessing. So thank you for doing what you do.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
You bet. And for those of you out there, lots in the book, The Thompson Method of Bodywork, Structural Alignment, Core Strength, and Emotional Release. Thank you for tuning us in, turning us on. Stay tuned for another hour on TransformationTalkRadio.com.
preceding audio was via a Skype call.